Hello everybody and welcome back to some of our yoga sessions. So today's session is going to look at one of those biggies called self-love that people use a lot, and they throw around the word self-love a lot. And I feel that it's something that we're really looking to gain, right now in this period of time, in this space. But self-love isn't just the beautiful things. And there's a lot of information out there on self-love is also crying, it's also having the bad days. But I think it's still taking time to accept us for our whole self, the good, the bad, and everything in between. And self-love is just really going, I'm okay with being, and I'm okay with being enough right now, regardless of everything else, everything that I tick next to my name. So in today's session, we're breaking down that self-love, and we're starting with just seeing ourselves as a temple, seeing whether it's our body, our mind, our spirit, however we want to look at our essence. We're looking inside of us to find that holy, spiritual, sacred place, outside of religion, outside of ideas, but just finding this place where I'm safe and I'm home and I have everything that I need. Within you there is absolutely everything you will ever need to get through every single storm. And right now we're just loving ourselves for ourselves, not looking at our body, not thinking about our thoughts, not analysing or managing or planning anything we're going to do. We're just going to appreciate what we have right now. So speech over. As always, we're coming again to the top of our mat. So I'm going to be facing at the top of the mat with you, feet hip width apart, toes facing forward. And you're just going to start by bending into one side and lifting the other heel up. Coming back to centre and finding our balance, and then allowing your weight to swap to the other foot, lifting the heel up. So I'm moving this as I'm shifting towards my left hand side. Taking the time to find my neutral, my balance in between, as I shift to the right. And you're doing this in your own time, being very aware that when you're bending, your knees are staying over your toes, so the knee isn't suddenly forward and back. And that you're feeling the pressure, the stretch, the strain on that supporting leg. You're feeling how your body is adjusting to this weight balance, where that weight, that heaviness is. The support, the ability that you'd be able to lift up that other leg if you needed to. Just practicing with that. Feeling what it feels like to come back to two as you're exploring in the one. Coming back to this idea of groundedness between both feet, but also the ability that if something is taken away, you're able to balance on one foot, you're able to manoeuvre. Just play with that for a little bit. Slowly increasing speed. Noticing if there's any natural rhythm, any natural bounce. And I'm imagining, I don't know if you've ever seen The Jungle Book, but when Mowgli is going into King Louie's kingdom, and he really wants to preserve his temple, King Louie does, and he ends up standing in between a pillar to hold the building up. And when Baloo bounces into him, and he's the only one left, it's that transference between two, so Baloo and King Louie, to then just King Louie. And eventually he gets tired being on one leg, and the palace falls. But it was that unitedness of everything that kept it up. And right now, as we're coming into this space, we're thinking of the unitedness of everything that is us. Our body, our mind, our spirit, our soul, our wishes, our dreams, our past, our present, our future, everything that is us, that we can never explain, we can never fully write out. You are a piece of art that is magical and indescribable, and only you can feel that. And as we're treading from side to side, we're feeling that balance, this idea that all of this is happening within us, and it's keeping us strong, it's keeping our temple strong. strong. And even if one of them just feels a little bit shaky at times, or we get stuck on being upset about something that's happened, there's still so much holding everything up, and there always will be so much holding that temple up. You're never going to be King Louis on your own, because you can't be on your own, because there is a whole universe inside of you. So we're just going to increase that pace as we're shifting from side to side, lifting up the toes. So just increasing the heart rate a little bit, allowing the body to move however it wants to around. Feeling the support as the heels knock or touch against the ground, and the lightness that you're able to lift up, and feel that shift of balance, maybe through the knees or through the hips. As you're just treading from side to side, trying to keep that body now as central. And allowing that to increase for however makes sense for you. So we're going on to 2, into just a little bounce. So by this bounce, my heels are coming up as if I'm going to jump, but my toes are still cemented and grounded into the earth beneath me. It's like I'm jumping, but I'm staying on the ground. And this is this idea that we've always got something to ground us, but we can have that space to fly. And we're just going to go back to our bouncing, keeping all areas, the heel and the toes on the floor, slowly reducing that speed. Come into a standing position, into our mountain pose, feeling our core, our shoulders are back, our heads high. And we're imagining our body, our being, our mind as a sanctuary. I'm going to use the word temple, but use whatever works for you. And just stand, either again bring your hands into a prayer position or palms facing outwards. And just notice the outline of your body. Imagine as if someone was drawing around you, like you draw around your hands. And it's not about the body, you can change the shape, you can exaggerate a finger. But it's about just feeling the space you're taking up and the solidness that is you. And when you've traced around your body and your mind, we're going to take this solidness as we shift our weight towards the left-hand side, lifting up our right as we're bringing the foot against the leg. From here, we're going to gently allow it to turn out as we come into tree. Feeling the right foot flat above the left ankle. Keeping my gaze in one moment, I'm feeling my hands. That I'm bringing them now all to hands facing out. I'm feeling my hands connecting to the earth and pulling down. Keeping my shoulders back and my head lifted. From here, as I exhale, I bring that knee forward again. My hands are coming into prayer position as I'm connecting to my inner being and my heart. And with an exhale, I'm going to allow my body to tilt forward with my leg coming back, moving in time with each other as I come into Warrior 3. So know that this can be at any height, wherever feels comfortable for you, with the aim of coming to this flat top, this T position, and keeping that hip pulling down towards the ground, feeling my hips in line, the length staying in my neck and bending that knee ever so slightly for added support and balance. I'm pointing to my toes, I'm feeling the energy between my head and my foot. I'm feeling the security from my core. And though I may wobble, I know that there is so much happening and so much supporting me that even if I wobble and I need to readjust and re-get into the pose, that's okay. It's not a failure. With an exhale, I'm going to bend that front left knee. Allow the right foot to place where it is with both feet facing forward. Lifting my body up, engaging my core as I'm coming into a high lunge position. My right leg staying nice and straight. And all I'm going to do here is with an exhale, I'm going to straighten both my knees. So with an inhale and with an exhale, I'm coming back to that high lunge, keeping that left knee over the ankle. And I'm just going to do this in time with my own breath, I'm testing my balance, my core strength, my vision. So I'm staying focused on something. My hands are still in that heart position, feeling the connectedness to ourselves. And noticing that growing sensation as you're coming up, knowing that things within you are already growing and developing, but you can always reground and find stability if you need. But this movement is always happening. And we're just going to do 3 more of those in our own breath. And then on the third and final, you're going to allow that back foot to move back ever so slightly as we're coming in to our warrior 2. So my right foot is now facing 3 o'clock. My left foot is staying at 12 with the knee over the toe. My body is above me and my arms are coming out at shoulder height with my palms facing down. I'm feeling all edges of my right and left foot. My shoulders are staying grounded down. I'm just going to gently bounce my arm to keep that movement going. Every inhale and exhale, or finding a syncopated beat if that works for you. And just feeling the space that I'm taking, the stability and the strength. As again, I'm tracing around my body and my mind, allowing it to move just as my arms are. The next exhale, my palms are facing forward and I'm tilting my body over that bent left knee, bringing the hand in front of the ankle and moving it down. You can rest either on your leg, bring the hand, or have a block. But the aim is my shoulders are staying stacked up on top of each other. My top hand is reaching up to the sky as I'm either looking at my top hand or my lower hand. Just feeling the stretch and the strength. As with an exhale, I'm going to use all my strength to come back up to the centre position and then continue as my right hand moves against my knee and my leg and my left hand reaches up. I'm looking at my above hand. With an exhale, I use my strength to come back to the centre. Palms facing forward. And allowing that right hand to swoop forward as my right foot swoops forward as well. And we're going to come back into our warrior 3 pose, knowing that we can drag that back foot, we can place the hand on our thigh if we need that added support, or we could even just start to shuffle it in. And on the next exhale, you're going to allow your head to lead, pulling you forward, lifting that left knee up. My hips are square facing down to the ground. My neck is in line with my body. I'm feeling this calm as I remember the feeling of being grounded on 2 feet. Seeing my goal in my mind. Taking the calmness from the future. As I exhale, bringing my knees together. Coming back into that tree pose. Noticing my breath. Feeling the stability of being on one leg right now. Knowing that even though it looks like there's only one pillar of support, there's a lot happening. My arms, my core, my neck, they're all helping in this stability. As with the next exhale, I return to 2 feet. And just notice if there's any differences between each side of the body. Reground yourself either in heart centre or open into the universe. Just take in a few nice natural deep breaths. Not thinking about what we're going to do next or what we've done. Just focusing on the breath and the effect it has on the body. We're going to do 2 more breaths just like this. Now on your exhale, we're going to shift the weight towards the right foot and lift up that left. Knees still facing forward. And though you may be able to remember some or all of the sequence, just as we learned and discovered it for the first time on the left side, we're going to try and allow ourselves to do this again, without thinking far ahead to the next move, but really being present in that moment, reminding where we are and who we are. With an exhale, I'm going to allow that left knee to come out as I come into a tree position. My left foot is just above my right ankle. My gaze is staying focused on something. It's allowing my head to be lifted, my shoulders to be held back, and to be proud of the space that I'm in right now. Feeling all edges of the feet on the floor. I know that if I have a wobble, it's completely okay. I can get back to this place and I can hold it in my mind while I'm in between. With an exhale, we're going to bring the knees forward again, hands coming into heart center if they're not already. Just noticing our heartbeat, our breath, the micro movements and adjustments in the body. As I feel this calmness and this connection to the top and the bottom, the heaven and the earth, I'm going to keep that motion now as I allow myself to move onto a horizontal plane, as my head moves forward and my left knee moves back, coming into Warrior 3. I may have a slight bend in the leg, and my left hip is in line with my right hip, equal distance to the floor. My toe is pointed as I still feel that connection between the heaven and the earth moving from the head and the foot. I'm engaging with my core and with other supporting muscles, knowing again if I have a wobble, it's completely okay. I'm allowing this pose to strengthen my legs, to open up, and my hips open flexibility and balance and awareness. And with an exhale, you're going to gently allow that front knee, that right knee to bend, and that left leg to find the floor. Coming up into a high lunge position as I feel the stretch on my left knee. I'm lifting my body up in between our two pillar points. My hands are still in heart center, and I'm refinding my gaze and my focus. Just staying here with a few natural breaths. And with an inhale, you're going to straighten both legs. And an exhale, you're going to allow that front knee to bend. Coming up high like a mountain and back down again into the warrior that we are. So we're now keeping this idea of heaven and earth, but flipping it around just as we moved from the vertical to the horizontal. We're moving from the mountain to the warrior. And you're doing this in your own time, in your own breath, feeling the journey of straightening that leg and bending it, and feeling how it affects the other. Feeling how they move in unison, in togetherness. Knowing that when our minds may be taken over, our body will move with it in order to support and give as much clarity and acceptance. That your body is always accepting you, your mind is always accepting you, and your spirit is already always accepting you, no matter where you are or what is happening, the good, the bad, and everything in between. And we're just going to do 2 more of these in our own nice natural breath. And at the end of the second, we're coming back into that high lunge position, allowing that back foot to wiggle back as we're preparing ourselves to come into our Warrior 2 position. And to do this, we're going to shift that left foot to face the 9 o'clock, keeping our right foot at 12, with our knee pointing over, feeling all edges of the feet. My hips are now facing towards the 9 o'clock, and my arms are coming out, shoulder height, palms facing down, gently moving up and down with our breath to refine our rhythm. Just feeling the solidness of being here, the muscles engaged, With an exhale, you're bringing those palms to face forward and the body to slide along that brick wall, bringing that hand down as far as comfortable, either looking at the above hand or the below hand, keeping that connection to heaven and earth. And with the next exhale, you're using all that strength to come back up into the position. You're going to continue allowing that left arm to move down the leg and the right arm above the head, keeping your focus on that right arm. With an exhale, using the strength again to come back to centre and swooping that left arm forward, following it with the left leg as we come back into our lunge position. Coming back into heart centre and remembering the groundedness that I'm feeling, the calm in my core and my mind, and the support that is chasing my mind right now that will come into my body. As we prepare ourselves to come back into Warrior 3, however works for us. We're sending our focus on our head forward and allowing that connection between the head and the foot to be alive and bring us into this position, slightly bending the right knee if we need. Noticing the natural breath, the hands still being in heart centre, the energy lines moving horizontally. As I exhale and allow myself to come up with my knees facing forward and feel the sensation of having that one foot on the floor, feeling the connectedness of the hands pushing against each other in heart centre, feeling the connection of these two, the hands and the foot in the earth, feeling the pressure and embrace between. As I exhale, allow that left knee to come out again into tree. Feeling how my body will make adjustments, my mind will follow it. Keeping my gaze focused, as calm is radiating from my core out or from my mind in. Wherever you are right now without any judgment. And with an exhale, we're going to bring those knees forward and come back to our mountain position with the feet apart, feeling the connectedness of the earth, keeping the hands either in heart centre or open to the universe. I'm looking at my gaze and I know I need to do nothing else but be right now in this moment. Forgetting about the motions or the movement that we've made, but about the sensation that is being created within us. Not thinking about anything else, but being right now. Knowing if we may drift from this, you can focus on the air around you, the sensations of the feet on the floor, or just listening or hearing to your breath to re-ground you. I'm going to stay here doing nothing else for 3 nice natural breaths. Knowing we do not need to change anything. And on your third and final exhale, the feet are coming together to touch. The hands are resting on the legs as we're going to slightly bend our knees and we're going to lead from our head. So we're curling our head down to our chin and allowing this curving to continue through our body with the hands brushing down us as we feel our body in space as we move towards the floor. Knowing we can stop at any time and feel the connectedness of the body. Aiming to bring our hands on top of the top of our feet. The head tucking into the core. Being wherever we are right now and knowing that is enough. And we're just going to stay here for a few breaths, allowing the body to relax and come into contact with itself. And if you feel like adding some movement to it, where there is no pressure, you can stay here. You can start to bring the left foot out to the side and meet it with the right. And introduce these little steps, feeling the connectedness and the weight shifting. But always trying to bring feet to touch. Allowing yourself to trust, shift weight and adapt. your different pillars of support. Knowing it's okay if you don't always touch at all times, there is always connection with your hands and your body, your mind, and your soul. And we're just going to do a few more of these, or staying where we are. So come back to the stillness, allowing the head to move towards the centre. So the next exhale, we're rolling our body up in the reverse order, from the bottom of the spine, to allow the head to be last, turning our palms to face forward, to be open to the world. And then whether you'd like to stand or sit, wherever is most comfortable for you, just going to end by looking at our hands, using our right hand to trace the outer of our left, feeling the connection to self, our body, and touch. And whenever you've done that outline, using the left to go around the right in your own time and pace, knowing that this is something that you can use as an own personal meditation, tracing around your hands and marking your sacred space, your temple. When you're done, just look at your hands, do one intentional deep breath in, out through the mouth, to re-ground us back into the space that we're in. So hopefully you've enjoyed that session. Let me know how it goes, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you.